And we are recording, so I'm going to call this special meeting to order of the Bethel Board of Selectmen for Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. And if you would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First order of business is public comments. Do we have anybody from the public joining us tonight? I see a couple of names. Who is Miss McCormick? That's okay. Well,
Nope.
I didn't want you to leave. I just wondering if you wanted to have something to say. All right, we'll move on. Any correspondence? Any late
No.
correspondence? Okay, so we'll move on to first Selectmen's report. And a couple of things. This is kind of just some updated information, some of which I gave last week. Last Saturday, we had our third clinic. Each of these Saturday clinics, we've moved the number up of the people who are being vaccinated. So on Saturday, we vaccinated 450 people, combination of Bethel and Reading residents. So it's about 60% Bethel, 40% Reading. And we have now reached the majority of the people in the 75 up age group who want to have a vaccine. There's some who may have received it elsewhere and they're not counted in the numbers, but we're probably up around 65 to 75% of that age group. And now accepting reservations for the next clinic for 65 and up. In fact, some of the 65 and up got into last Saturday's clinic. Expect to do another 450 to 500 this Saturday by appointment. And we do expect those numbers to go up. I was informed, or the governor announced in his press conference earlier today that they expect to see over the next 2 months a 22% increase in the monthly shipment or the weekly shipments of the vaccine. So once again, I want to thank Laura Vasile and her staff. Laura was at Laura got wind that there was a shipment coming in on Monday, which of course was President's Day. So she camped out at Town Hall, caught the UPS driver and got the vaccine into their freezers immediately. So they're in good shape and they're ready to go. Governor says that the next groups are going to be I think it's the phase 2 of 1B. I know this is starting to get complicated, but this is going to include what they call essential workers and individuals with underlying health conditions or concerns. And they expect this to occur by mid-March. Now, the only thing is they haven't given us a definition of what exactly that means. Apparently, I think it's Josh Cabale's office in Hartford is working on the definitions of who exactly can count as an essential worker and who isn't, and how to some kind of a rubric to use for people who have underlying health conditions, and then we'll move into that group, and then from there we'll move to group 1C probably in May. And by then, I hope the flow of vaccine is much larger. Governor also announced that on effective March 19th, restaurant limits will be changed. Right now, restaurants are limited for indoor dining to 25 people or 50% of the capacity of the restaurant. Effective in mid-March on March 19th, they're going to move that up to 100 or 50%. So a smaller venue is still going to be more limited, but for restaurants and event venues like wedding venues, things of that nature, party venues, they'll be able to put 3-4 times more people than they have been. Religious ceremonies will be capped at 200 or 50% of capacity, so that's double where it is today. And once again, that's going to go into effect March 19th. The second thing I want to discuss in my report today, and Rich and Paul will know all about this because they're on the PUC, but for the community, I want everybody in Bethel to know that the second of our 2 big water tanks that were constructed in the last couple of years went into service in December. It was authorized, passed its test, was authorized by the Department of Public Health in December, and is now delivering 500,000 gallons to Bethel homes. And this is really a big deal because this is the culmination of about 7 years of a 20-year capital improvement plan. And what it means is that we no longer have to use reservoir water to deliver drinking water to homes. We can use 100% well water, which is cleaner. It requires far less, just a fraction of the treatment that the reservoir water required. It's safer, it's easier to handle, and it provides better fire protection because we have more volume and more pressure to the fire hydrants. So in the last 7 years, we've completed over $12 million in upgrades. We've replaced 15,000 feet of water mains. We've replaced the valves, replaced the pumping stations at Hoyts Hill and South Street, put in a new pumping station at Briarcliff Manor. We installed generators at several of the pump stations to ensure consistent service during power outages. So the water department is really, at this point, one of the best run in the state of Connecticut. And I'm very grateful for my colleagues who, helped steer the ship through this, and very proud of our staff because they've done a terrific job on that. And just so people know, this was not paid through tax dollars. This does not hit your tax bill or your budgets in that way, or the town budget and the tax side. This is, although the water department pays for, or the town of Bethel pays for its own service through the water department, the capital improvements were financed through grants and loans that came from the Department of Public Health. So even with all this work, today we are still in the bottom third in terms of the cost of water to our residents, bottom third. So certainly that's come up a little bit in recent years, but it is a tremendous value for the quality that we have. So that's my report for tonight. Rich and Paul, do you guys have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, Matt, I just have one question here relative to this COVID thing and the vaccination program.
Yeah.
You mentioned that we're going to different phases, but also we're at the phase, I would believe that the second injection should be part of this also under that 1B.
Yes.
Because as I recall, we started 4 weeks ago. So I guess a week from Saturday will be the first for Bethel Reading residents who've been vaccinated go for the second shot.
Yes, that's correct. And you will get an, yes, because I remember when you came in. So that was not last week, but the week before, right?
But 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so you will get a call next week, and it won't be for this coming Saturday, it'll be for the Saturday after.
The 27th, yeah.
Because
Right.
I do know that for this Saturday, there are 65 individuals who were in that first group
Right.
who will be coming in for their second shot.
Right.
So
Okay.
they're tracking that. Yeah, they're doing a great job with that. They're tracking that very carefully. So you'll get a phone call when it's time for that
Right.
shot.
And we have really have, like you said, we have to commend Laura Vasile. She's done a tremendous job in organizing this and seeing it through, way above and beyond some of her responsibilities.
That's true. Rich, did you have any comments or questions?
Yeah, I have a question about the second shot for the COVID. Is it the same as the first shot, or is it a booster shot?
The same.
It's the same.
It's the same shot. It's not. So I just was wondering how they were going to delineate, people from first shots and second shots, but it's all the same.
Right.
Well, you got your little card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep it, all the data is on that card. So, and all the doses are the same. So if you got the Moderna the way we have here, you'll get a second Moderna. It'll be the same dose.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to mention, I had gotten my shot this past week, and it's pretty amazing the volunteers and the setup and how smoothly everything ran there. It's great when everybody comes together.
Okay, great. All right, moving on to item number 5, consideration of the minutes from February 3rd. I'll entertain a motion to accept.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by Paul, second by Rich. Any changes, corrections?
No.
I didn't spot any changes. So hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye. That carries. Item number 6, a final approval of the ordinance language for the Fire Commission. Marty had sent us the enabling language from our charter that gives the Board of Selectmen the authority to adopt ordinances, and he gave us the language that he's crafted based on our input over the past couple of months on the Fire Commission. So our job tonight is 2 steps. If you're good with the language the way Marty has drafted it, then we approve it as a preliminary approval, and we send it to a public hearing. That'll be item number 7 on the agenda. So I'll just to make it a formal motion so that we have the floor open for discussion. I'll put a motion on the floor that we approve Chapter 13 Board of Fire Commission as presented by the town attorney. Is there a second? Okay, Paul seconded that. So floor is open for discussion. Do you guys have a chance to read it over?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. Just a quick question for Marty. We did include the exclusion of the selectman whoever's going to be on that particular board, not to become the chairman, correct?
Yes, we did.
Good.
Trying to locate it, but I know we did.
Good, because this was my only concern at the time as you submitted the last revision.
Yeah, it's on 13.4.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Rich, did you have any questions?
No, I looked it over as, what we talked about.
Okay. All right, in that case, I will try your minds. Those in favor of approving the proposed Fire Commission language, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. So item number 7 is we need to set a date for the public hearing and issue a publication notice on this. So I'll make a motion. Deanne, I think we decided on March 1st would be the best open date, correct? Okay. So I will make a motion that we establish the public hearing date for the review of the Board of Fire Commission for March 1st, beginning at 7 p.m. via Zoom. There'll be a public meeting via Zoom.
Second.
And Paul seconds that. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That carries. All right. Thank you very much. Item number 8, consideration of the CPACE partial release agreement. This turned out to be a lot harder to type than I thought because we kept getting auto-corrected. Basically what this is, if you guys will remember, back in 2014, the town of Bethel entered an agreement with Green Bank of Connecticut, which is also known as the Clean Energy Finance and Investment Authority. And what this authority does is it allows the municipality to arrange for low-cost energy financing for corporations within our city limits. And we had some companies that were interested in doing that. So the town of Bethel entered this agreement with Green Bank through the Clean Energy Finance and Investment Authority. And the way this works is there is a pass-through of energy credits that go through the town of Bethel and are billed back, they go back and forth between the town and the financing and the entity that is using the financing. I think Duracell was one of the companies that did this. I think, anyway, the CPACE organization has decided to take the responsibility of that billing and that money handling away from us. It's completely neutral. It doesn't affect us in any way, except it gives Ann Skako's department more time to do their work and less time doing this stuff. So what CPACE has sent us is a partial release agreement, which modifies the original document. And it simply just simply relieves us of the obligation of handling the billing and the paperwork, and CPACE and the investment authority do it directly with the customer. So Marty, I think I'd sent you a copy of that too, right?
I had to pull out the old agreement to refresh my recollection. And just so you know, I sent a copy of the documentation to Ann Skako, And I basically asked her any issues with the release amendment. And her first sentence back was, "Good Lord, no issues to me." So she's very happy with this. It's a lot of work and we don't get anything out of it. She'll still, what happens is we do an assessment lien for the improvements that are made. And then we had a bill and we had to collect and then we had to send it to the bank. And so now all we got to do is the assessment lien and we're done. They do everything else.
Okay, Rich, did you have a question about that? Oh, Rich, you're muted. Hey, Rich.
You're muted, Rich.
Sorry about that. You had already asked Marty the questions as we can approve it upon his final approval, or however, if he approves it right now, we could approve it. So
Yeah,
wanted to make sure Marty had time to look at it.
okay.
Yes, I have. I think all you need is to give Matt the authorization to sign it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll put a motion on the floor that we approve the C-PACE partial release agreement. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, second by Rich. Any further discussion? And hearing none, those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries, so I'll sign that and I'll get it off to the C-PACE people tomorrow, and Ann will be very happy. So the final item on our agenda is a discussion of pending litigation on the Duracell case, and I'm going to make a motion that we enter executive session, inviting in the town attorney, the recording secretary, and the assessor. Is there a second for that motion?
Second.
Second.
Okay, so we got 2 seconds. So those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so as soon as Deanne pauses, I will declare us out of executive session at 7:42. And we are recording again. Thank you, Deanne. So I'm going to put a motion on the floor that we settle all pending litigation between Duracell US Operations Incorporated and Town of Bethel by accepting a fair market value of, what's the address, 15 Research Drive? 14 Research Drive. Settle at fair market, accept the fair market valuation of 51 million and accept 50% of outstanding penalties and withdraw all further actions.
Can you just correct that and just say 50% of outstanding penalties as set forth in the second lawsuit?
Okay, accept 50% of the penalties as set forth in lawsuit number 2.
And withdraw the appeal.
And withdraw any further appeals.
Right.
Okay. All right.
You need a second for that. I'll give that to you.
Okay. Second by Paul. Any further discussion? And hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's a painful aye, but we're done. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Marty and Izzy. I know you guys have worked on this for a long time, and really appreciate your hard work on that. It's unfortunate, but that's, there, just as a side comment, there's a bill pending in the legislature this year that would try to, if not put an end, at least curtail some of these speculative assessment appeals by making, and I don't know if this would survive a legal challenge, but the bill would actually prohibit contingency expert witnesses in such cases. So it would at least force the plaintiff or the complainant in a case like this to put some skin in the game and have to pay people and have some financial liability involved in it. There's some other provisions in the bill too. I just got it today, so hopefully we'll get some relief on that, because I know this is something we go through with every reval.
Is that on this year's docket?
Yep.
Good. Okay.
I'll look it up. I'll send it to you guys. I sent you guys a bunch of list of pending bills earlier today, but I'll look that one up and tell you which one it is.
Yeah, just also have Kozlowski send us the final bill as far as legal.
Sure, will do.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved and see you tomorrow night.
All right, moved by Paul, seconded by Rich, and we'll see you tomorrow night. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.